Everybody, it's time to strike up the band and cue the pomp and circumstance because graduation season is here. And I have a special gift for all my high school graduates. No, it's not $2 bills or a car or anything like that, but it's something I think is maybe even more valuable. An AI-infused trapper keeper.
Wow.
What in the world is a trapper keeper? It's something dated and very old. But let me just tell you, it's like this. Google has a tool called NotebookLM, and it will allow you to take your professor's content, that course content, and put it in one place, and you get to create specialized curated notes, study guides, FAQs, even podcast. And I think this is a game changer, and you're going to love it. So here's my gift to you. Let's get started. I'm going to show you how to do this as a student in a professor's class, putting all that content in and then exporting it and creating content from it. Let's do this thing. If you're a college student, Google is actually going to give you pro access to their best AI features. That means Gemini, yes, NotebookLM, and they're also going to give you 2 terabytes of storage for free this year and next. Now that we've said that, let's pretend we're actually in a college course. And to do this, I'm using Open Yale courses. That means Yale gives some of their courses for free. Now, they don't give you the credentials, but they allow you to look at all the content and kind of follow along in a professor's class. So I'm choosing the American Revolution as if I was in that class right now. And in this class, they give me the, let's see here, I'm in lecture 1 right now, but let me go back here. If I click on American Revolution, this is led by Professor Joanne Freeman. She does give a syllabus. Now the syllabus has the text that she wants the students to read. It also gives like some grading requirements, but that doesn't really mean anything for me right now because this is a free class and I don't get to get a credential. But in your situation as a college student, you could put all this in there and it would actually take that and give you more refined results. So I'm going to take her syllabus. I could copy this, for instance. Usually syllabus do come in like a PDF or something that'd be a lot easier. But I could take this, take all the requirements, copy this, and I'm going to open up NotebookLM. So the link to get to NotebookLM is notebooklm.google.com. You log in with your Google address and you start adding sources. And I may be jumping the gun just a little bit here. So I'm going to go back to the home screen for NotebookLM, and it allows you to create folders. Remember, I told you this was like an AI-infused trapper keeper because you can create separate folders for your classes. And that's what I would suggest. So right here, I have a folder, Studying the American Revolution, 5 Tips. I don't really think that's a great title, so I'm actually going to edit the title, and I'm just going to call it the name of the class, American Revolution, 101, whatever it's called. And that's just one notebook, but I could create another one for my math class. I could create another for something else, or we call these folders, really. So I'm going to open up this, and I already have added some things, but let me show you that process. So right here, I'm going to go to, I have her, already copy-pasted her or copied her syllabus. I can add sources here. Go to Add, and this is where the magic really is. I can add pretty much anything. Right here, that means PDFs, that means text, that means even audio. It does play nice in the Google world. That means we get the Google Docs, slides, something straight from a website. The YouTube video thing's very awesome because, obviously Google and YouTube are owned by the same people. And then I could just copy some text, which I have already done. So if I click copy text, it says put it in here. And what it did is it came in as a syllabus. And so I've already done it. It has the syllabus here, all the things that she said in the syllabus, and it's going to use it as a reference later on. Now, how do I get her lectures in here? I already have a few preloaded just so I would be ready for our video. But for my professor, I need whatever that professor's working on, the notes I'm taking, the materials the professor is giving. I'm going to go into sessions, and she actually has 25 lectures, videos, commentary. So I've already clicked on lecture 1. Let's go ahead and 3. I'm going to go to lecture 4. You can see it's got a quick overview, and it has her video. Now this video, let's check this out, is 41 minutes long. Not a problem. I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to go back to my notebook, and I'm going to add, so I already have lectures 1 through 3. I'm going to add this website link, paste it, And now I have four of those lectures in here. But I could also include anything else. I hit add. I could say, you know what? I've got some notes that I've already been taking. Maybe I'm working with another couple other students in that class. We're working together. We're pulling our resources. Maybe I have a presentation from that professor. I don't know if we can add a PowerPoint here, but you can always convert a PowerPoint to a PDF and get that content in here. So that's taking all the sources and putting it in here. Now, here's something else you can do. This is actually a pretty new addition. You can discover and add additional material. So for instance, if I said, you know what, I want more materials on other American Revolution, let's see, perspectives. And now it's going to find things outside of the content I have put in. And this is different than what a lot of people think about AI. A lot of times people think about AI and they automatically go to ChatGPT. They're like, just write me a paper, just create some content from scratch. This is not that. This is really, it starts with the content you choose to put in, and then we're going to make things from it, study materials from it. So it's already found some resources. This one, Loyalists, George Washington's Mount Vernon. And it tells me a little footnote about what these sources are about, explores the diverse motivations of loyalists. So I could preview these before I put them in if I want. I don't have to put these in. This is really extra. As a student in this college class, I'm like, oh, I know I really need some different perspectives. I think my professor will appreciate that. It'll help me as a student. But I can click on this one right here. And we can see we're actually going to somewhat reputable places. I mean, I can't vouch for this 100%, but it is a .org address. It looks professional. It doesn't look like something that came from a random blog somewhere that I can't vet the person. But I can go through here. I can look at this content. It does give me resources, citations. And I was like, I like it. I want to put it in my sources. And so you just check the one you want, and you import, and it goes into your sources, and it'll pull information from there as well when you're asking it to help you create some study guides and things. Now, here's another thing I did. You need to know that it does have a chat feature like ChatGPT or some of those other AI tools in which I can interact with this AI bot that has access to all this material. So I pulled up a question earlier. This was me. I was doing some research. Let me see if I can get this real quick. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Like, give me some tips on that. So already, these 4 lectures, AI has already transcribed those things. And it knows the syllabus. It knows the professor already by watching the lectures. And I'm saying, give me some tips. I'm going to copy paste this on how to better write and meet my professor's criteria. So, maybe I'm not the best writer. I'm like, how can I really speak? I want to make sure I meet the criteria and I'm getting a good grade. And so it's going to look through all those transcriptions of those videos. That's 40 minutes a piece. It's looking at the syllabus. And here it goes. And it says, here's some tips for approaching academic work, meeting the criteria of Professor Freeman's course. And they highlight the specific perspective and analytical approach that Professor Freeman emphasizes. And it helps you understand her expectations for assignments like papers. That's what I'm talking about. Here's some things you need to avoid. Avoid the Revolutionary War fact bubble, because she mentions that. I already watched one of the videos. Think critically about the meaning of words. She doesn't want you to be willy-nilly with vocabulary. And these are things that are just important and are going to help you connect with the person who's going to be grading your papers. All right? And again, this video is not about having AI write you papers. This is about just writing better papers. And I think this is just a wonderful tool in our list of other millions of tools that we have had as humans for a very long time that'll help us achieve some really great results. Okay, so I just want to show you that. Kind of gives you some tips on that. So we had that little chat there. Here's some other things you need to know. Here on the bottom right, now we can create some notes. We can create some study guides. So I'm going to start with a study guide, but maybe I don't need all these other lectures. I'm going to uncheck all those. Like, I just need a study guide on lecture 1. So I just check that. And now I go to study guide. It's going to create me a study guide on lecture 1. Let's see how long this takes. Wow. That was like 8 seconds. I didn't count, but I'm pretty sure it's close. Now, if you click on this, it's already read the transcription from that video, that 40-minute video. It pulled out what it thinks is some of the highlights, the questions, and an answer key. Here's some essay format questions. Here's some important vocabulary. Wow, wow, wow. And you could say also, like, you want this to be a source now. You're like, man, this is going to be helpful. Put this in my sources, and I'll call it Study Guide Lecture 1. And so you convert the source. You could put it over there. That's one of your options. You also can create a timeline, because we are talking about history in this sense. And the timeline, I just have Lecture 1. I probably should have checked all of them. So I'm actually going to do that. Let me let it do its thing. And I'm going to select all sources. I don't really need the syllabus. And I'm going to create that timeline again. Okay, here it comes. It's so fast. And I did 4 sources this time, so it takes a little extra time. Here it is. I think that's the one it just made. Yep. So now we're talking about dates. We're talking about a timeline. It's in chronological order. Wow. Cast of characters who are included in this timeline. How amazing is that? And don't forget, we still have this chat over here. So we could still, you could even write something and put it in there and say, would this meet the criteria? Does this explain it in a way that my professor will grasp? I mean, that chat, that in the middle, the chat, that's very much like those other AI chats that you are accustomed to, such as ChatGPT and Gemini. But let's do something else. Here on the right, you also can do an audio overview. A lot of people freaked out about this when they saw this for the first time. They're like, man, this is cool. You can put anything in here. You could put your tax your tax forms for the year and put it in here, and it'll make a podcast. It's really 2 people talking about whatever content you want. And so here I could customize and say, here we go. I'm going to say, I'm going to cancel this. I just want Lecture 1. Because maybe I don't really need a podcast about each one of these lectures, just one, because maybe I want to listen to it as I'm walking around campus or I'm exercising. I'm going to say, give me the quick basics on Lecture 1. That's it. That's all I'm going to put. But I want it quick. Don't give me the expanded version. Hit generate. Now this is going to take some time. It did it. Let's check it out. I think you could hear this. So I'm going to hit play.
Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through sources to pull out the essentials, basically giving you a shortcut to getting up to speed. Today, we're diving into Lecture 1 from Yale's course Hist 116, The American Revolution.
Right. And our goal here is pretty straightforward. Just to give you the quick basics on how Professor Freeman sets up the study of this really crucial time in history based on that first lecture.
Okay, so she kicks things off by acknowledging...
Okay, so it took a 40-minute lecture and it made an 8-minute podcast, which is just giving the highlights. Now, they also have some different additions to this podcast creation. You can interact with the host. So while it's being played, you can hit the interact button and say, hey, what do you think about this? If I do this, what's some suggestions? You can interact with the host. It's pretty awesome. You can also create the audio overview in more languages, lots of different language options here. So that button's right there. And lastly, you can share this. This is pretty new, especially with the plus version that the college students get. You can come up here and share it, the full notebook or just the chat, with fellow classmates. So everybody's contributing, everybody's putting some content in here, and we can really make the most of this NotebookLM. So it's very similar to how we share documents and things in Google Drive. College students, that is my gift to you. I think you could run with it. I think this can help you really excel and do even better in your college classes. If you enjoyed this video, you think it'll be helpful, leave me a comment, give me some likes, tell a friend. I'd love it. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video.